Welcome back. If you haven't noticed, the football team's been doing pretty well this year. We're wondering if it's due to maybe the 150th celebration, the new turf on the field, or could it be because of the new black uniforms? That's the question. Is Baker back in black? A feature now by Alex Dingman.
Dan, we got some questions. We came to you for some answers.
You have questions, you need some answers.
That is true. We good to go?
Yep.
All right.
What is this I hear about us possibly having black added to our color here at Baker University due to our success from the football team?
Well, my first comment would be orange is our only school color. We're like Syracuse. And the black was really, for this year, a celebration of our past. The uniforms actually represent a replica of the 1986 team that played in the national finals, the team that Mike McCarthy played on, who was recently here inducted in our Hall of Fame.
Yep. So why haven't we had these black jerseys this whole time? Why are we just now thinking about this?
About 8 or 9 years ago, I think we wanted to make a transition with some new coaches away from using black as the accent color to using navy. We actually had a professional company that redesigned our whole logo. And I really do like our logo, but having been here for 25 years, I have to say I am a lover of the black because that's where all my success was, and it was a great time for me in terms of that color and the uniforms.
Okay, have you heard any feedback from other coaches or people on campus that might be supportive of this move?
I think the support's going to be based on our success this year with football. I think football is going to determine this. I think if football has some success, right now they're undefeated wearing black. But all black at home, even our junior varsity, who lost one to Ottawa the last game of the year, and that was a close one. We feel like that's going to inspire the team to want to take some pride in that color and play with it next year. But I can tell you this, we're not going to spend $15,000 on new uniforms and not use them in some way.
Sure. All right, well, going back to the fact that we've had so many home victories wearing the black, do you believe that we sold our souls for victories?
I don't believe that because I don't think I believe in that concept, but I do think that what we were trying to do is provide some motivation. I have a football team that hasn't had a winning record in 3 years, and what could I do as an athletic director to provide some kind of impetus or motivation, something we could market as history of representing our past and supporting our past and celebrating our past, but at the same time let the team be motivated to have some success. So that was my intention, was really is what can we do to help them win, and so far it's working.
All right, Dan, I'll accept those.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
No problem.
Back to you, Chris.
Hello and welcome back. I'm now joined by junior analyst Alex Dingman. We're going to talk a little bit about football in America now. Let's start off by talking about KU. What do you think about their situation? 8-0. They're only undefeated with only 5 other teams in the nation, 8th in the country. What's going to go on here with KU?
Well, rock chalk, Chris. It's looking pretty good. They surprise me every week, really, coming into this season.
Definitely.
I didn't have too much confidence that they're going to do too well. I was looking at that last game against Missouri like, Missouri's probably going to have a big advantage. I hate saying it, but they were looking real good coming in the year. But KU just keeps on winning, and
this is true.
They're playing very tough with that defense. Reesing seems to be the
Reesing
answer
is
on
the
offense.
man.
We got Kerry Meyer playing a little tight end and punting for us occasionally, but they're really getting the job done. And they hadn't played a away game out of the state of Kansas until that game against Colorado. They won that. Then they went on the road against Texas A&M, always a strong opponent. Beat them, so now they got Nebraska away, another tough game. Oklahoma State, that's going to be not easy. And then, we all know what happened last year in that game.
Oh, yeah.
And then Iowa State should be a cupcake to lead into that Missouri game, which is looking like it's going to be huge because Missouri right now is ranked 9th, KU at 8th, and we all know about the bad blood there. It's going to be at Arrowhead.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm just real excited for this team. Jake Sharp, Brandon McAnderson, that running game is real strong. And Reesing just does enough to win. Doesn't make very many mistakes. So
give me your predictions on this weekend. They take off against Nebraska at home. It's homecoming. What's this game going to be like?
I think it's going to be a tough one. Probably another low scoring. I would say something like the Texas A&M score. But at this point, I got full confidence in KU, and I think they're going to take it. They're now considered the favorite in the game, and I think they're going to keep it rolling. As long as Mangino wears that blue velvet jumpsuit, they're going to win.
If Mangino can get into that blue velvet jumpsuit.
There's no way you can look that good and be a loser.
Well, speaking of big people, big games, another big game coming up this weekend. Green Bay comes to Kansas City to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs now are 4-3, a surprising 4-3 after the beginning of the season. Where does this team sit, and how do you think they're going to fare against Green Bay?
Well, they are atop the division right now. It was interesting that they're battling with the Raiders, another team that wasn't looked at coming in this year that they're going to be that great. But the Chiefs, their defense is just so strong. Jared Allen is doing a tremendous job, and they got the strong linebacking core. Really made a difference, and they are just doing enough on offense to win the games. Right now that they got Heward in there, and he's not going to be a Pro Bowler. But he's not throwing too many picks.
This is true.
Larry Johnson's starting to heat up a little bit. I was a little worried about him at first. I was like, why are we paying so much money for this guy? Might as well start Colby Smith back there. But he's really turning it on. I think if he can continue to get over 100 yards a game, a couple touchdowns, we should be able to keep winning. And as long as the Chargers, who probably have the most talent in the conference or in the division, if they don't go on a hot run, I think the Chiefs have a very good chance of winning the division and going to the playoffs. And then we'll see what happens there. And we got Green Bay Packers.
Green Bay Packers. Then we got the Denver Broncos after that, Indianapolis. It's going to be a tough road coming up here.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we look at the team, and they brought back Priest Holmes and all these things, and they got these weapons everywhere. But I think it's a team that needs to fire the football, throw it up in the air. I mean, our running game is weak. We don't have much of an offensive line. If you can get back there and toss it up to Dwayne Bowe, do it every 5 yards. Do it every 10 yards. Get Tony Gonzalez in there and get that done. It's going to work out really good if we keep the ball in the air.
Yeah. Tony G is definitely a key. We finally had discovered after a couple years of losing him that he's a good target.
Yes,
he might be getting a little bit older, but he still can do it, and he's usually open in the middle of the field. And then Debo. How great has he been?
Unbelievable.
One of the top rookies in the game right now, and if they can continue to find him in the red zone, it should equal some success for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Definitely. Well, let's move on. We're going to stick with football. Let's move on to Baker football. This past week, they took on Missouri Valley, a ranked team. Lost to them in a defeated loss. Were beat most of the game, and towards the end, it was kind of sad. They put on some points on the board not to go down. But where does this Baker team stand in the conference, and what are they going to plan on doing out the rest of the year?
They're 5-3, and really it's not looking too good for them, just because there's so many teams that still only have 2 losses up there at the top of the conference. Lindenwood running away with it, and then there's a few teams out there in second place, and now we have fallen more to the middle of the pack. We really couldn't afford to lose another game at this point if we wanted to have a real legitimate shot at postseason. But, we got to keep playing.
Oh, yeah.
We got Mid-America at home. Man U's always a tough opponent,
Definitely.
and always one that we look to defeat, obviously. And so we'll have them at home. It'll be a nice offense that they have against our stingy defense, so we'll see if we can work that out to our advantage. And then we have Avila away, which should be an easier test on the road as the last game. But they can win those last 2, and in a 7-3 season looks pretty good.
It looks good.
And the HAC is such a strong conference. We might see 3 teams get out of there and make it to the postseason. We'll just have to see how it goes, but
Definitely.
They can't afford to lose another game.
Definitely. This is true. Well, that's been it for the week of football, week in sports. This is Alex Dingman, Chris Campbell, KNBU-TV.